Hello. So we had our first session of Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition yesterday. Some of the people turned up with characters already created, and a lot of the time then we filled in the gaps with character creation actually on the evening, which only took about an hour. And we've ended up with quite a decent party. There's a halfling rogue, there's an elven cleric, there's a half elf monk, and there's a dwarf fighter. So it's a pretty good mix, all different specialities and things that they can bring to the table. And we are expecting another possibly 2 players to join the group over the next few weeks. So I'm going to have a nice filled out table. And so I spent the first 2 hours starting a game, starting it in Neverwinter, and then them going north to find occultists. It's an abandoned mine, but / tomb, and some cultists there. Long story. And it went really, really well. I was really, really happy with it. As you know, I'm not a fan of the D&D system. I've got a very nostalgic love for it because it was my first system from a long time ago. I've said that 1,000 times, I do apologise. So I don't have a lot of time for the system, but the enthusiasm of the players and the fact that they got into it and they enjoyed it and they played their characters to the hilt, and they had some really well defined characters throughout their stats, etc. The amount that they were enjoying it, I kind of felt that, and I fed on that, and I really, really enjoyed it. So all I had to worry about was just making rolls for the creatures, in this case an undead bugbear, and just asking them to make DC checks. And it was quite straightforward. It was actually really, really good. They were excited, and I think because of their energy and how involved and how excited they were about the game, and that's what kind of propped me up. So I could sit here for ages and talk about why I don't like the Dungeons and Dragons system, but it doesn't really matter because the system served the game, and it was the sheer fun that they were having, which is what I get out of it. And I think that's the same with a lot of games. I've played with a lot of game systems that I've not liked, but I've really enjoyed the actual game itself because it wasn't the system that made the game, it was the players and the feelings of anticipation and excitement and passion around the table, and that's what made the game. So, because I've played, one of my biggest favourite games ever is Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay First Edition, and that is a proper clunky, whiffy system. The magic system sucks. I mean, it's broken in lots of different areas, but because the games that I was having was so involved and so much fun, it didn't really matter how broke the system was. I just had to make a couple of adjustments and it kind of worked for me. But it was the amount of fun that we were having that counted, and that's what I took away from the game. So when I think about old Warhammer games, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay First Edition games, I'm not thinking about how crappy the D100 roll is, or how low their scores were, or how crap their toughness score, how their strength score, how the critical system worked against them because the wounds were so low. I wasn't thinking about any of that. I was thinking about the moments that we had in the game which made the game memorable, which made the game exciting, which made the game evolving. And in this particular case, I mean, I kind of like to take credit for, as a games master for instilling that excitement in people, and you know what I mean. It's the way I run the game, and everyone's like, "Oh wow, that's brilliant, well done." But that's completely false because that's just me daydreaming and thinking I'm a fantastic GM. Whereas the truth of the matter is, what I'm actually doing is feeding on the players' energy and excitement. And in this particular case, it was them that propped me up and actually got me through the game. So I had a great time describing Neverwinter and the people that they came across, and the barman of the Child and Eagle, wink wink, and the trek north and going through the trees and finding the bodies in the abandoned village, etc., etc. So I had a great time doing that. And then when the mechanics kicked in, it was just that, because everybody knew the system around the table. That also helped me because they knew what they were doing. I didn't have to explain anything or ask them what to roll. They knew what to do. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. Really, really enjoyed it. So I've got a feeling that this is going to be a long campaign, and I think it's going to be a long campaign because when the players turned up, they all bought masses of Dungeons and Dragons books that they already owned. So I think I'm all right. I think I'm okay. I think we've got all the bases covered as far as property, as far as the books and products concerned, and the players' enthusiasm to play the game. So yeah, I was really, really pleased. I had another point to make, and it's gone out of my head now. But I'm sure I'll make another video if it comes back to me. So yeah, we had a really, really good time. So this is now going to be our regular game from 5 till 8 every Sunday. We are trying to jig things around a bit because there's been some change in sort of circumstances in people's jobs. So if we can get another, if we can set it up for another night, that would be absolutely fantastic. And so I got what I wanted out of the game, I think, which is just lots of fun and enjoyment, and just having a great time with it. And I've got to thank the players for that, because I mean, I don't know if you noticed in my last couple of videos, or when I speak about Dungeons and Dragons in general, I'm not very enthused about it because it's Dungeons and Dragons, and like I said previously, I'm only playing it out of pure nostalgia. But it was the players in this particular case that gave me kept me going and basically made me excited about the game. So yeah, I'm really pleased with it. So yeah, here's to more gaming in the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, which I'm going to be absolutely honest with you, I'm absolutely shocked that I'm even saying that out loud. But yeah, anyway, thanks for listening. Ta-ra.